What you're about to hear is the kind of story retail workers whisper only after the lights go out, because anyone who stayed late in that store felt it watching them. It began on a slow night shift when Lisa, a new employee, was closing the aisles with her coworker Jay. The store was empty, the kind of empty that makes your ears ring, but they kept hearing footsteps in aisle 9 even though they had just checked it. Jay joked that the place was haunted by old customers, but Lisa didn't laugh, because every time she looked toward that aisle, she saw a shadow move just slightly out of place. At first, she thought it was the flickering lights, until she realized the shadow wasn't following the light. It was following her. When they went to lock up, the power suddenly cut out. Complete darkness swallowed the store except for the emergency light glowing at the far end of aisle 9. Lisa and Jay froze. In the silence, something breathed. Not fast, not loud, but long and slow, like something huge was trying to stay calm. Jay whispered her name, but before Lisa could answer, a tall figure slid across the emergency light. Not walked, slid, like its feet never touched the floor. Lisa grabbed Jay's arm and backed toward the exit, but the door wouldn't open. It was as if someone was holding it shut from the outside. When they turned around, the figure was closer, its outline barely human, limbs too long, head tilted as if trying to understand them. Lisa remembered the stories other workers told, items shifting on their own, mannequins turning, and someone crying in the stockroom when no one was there. She had laughed at them. Now every warning made sense. The figure crept closer, its breath cold enough to fog the air. Lisa felt a strange pull, like it wanted her to step forward. Jay grabbed a fallen metal bar and swung it at the shape, and the sound echoed like the whole store screamed at once. The lights flickered back on. The figure vanished. The emergency alarms blared and the exit unlocked, letting them stumble outside into the night. They reported the power failure but never mentioned what they saw. No one would believe them anyway. But the next night, when Lisa checked her locker, there were long black fingerprints smeared across the door, even though no one else had access. She and Jay promised to stay silent, but they kept working there because they needed the money, and because leaving felt worse, like the thing would follow them if they dared walk away. Over time, the footsteps continued, items still moved, and that breathing sometimes returned on quiet nights. But Lisa learned something important. It never attacked, it only watched. Maybe it wanted something, maybe it was lonely, maybe it just needed someone to notice it. And Lisa decided that as long as she stayed strong, stayed careful, and stayed with Jay, they could survive the store's secret together. In a place full of shadows, they chose not to run. They chose to endure.